made you decide to do comedy?
I first decided to try comedy when I realized the band I was in was not going to make it. So I was like, I kind of thought we were a joke. So instead of being a joke, I was like, I'm going to tell jokes.
Describe your first time doing stand-up.
The first time doing stand-up was a little bit misleading because it was on one of those class shows. So I had like probably 20 or 30 friends there. And it was one of those embarrassing things where you walk out and everyone makes a bigger reaction to your introduction than any of your jokes, which sort of had sort of like a consistent, unfunny thud. But since they were all so supportive, it was just like, please welcome J. Chris Newberg. Yeah! Then it like flatlined. Let's hear it again for J. Chris Newberg. Yeah! And I wasn't sure if they were happy that I was done or they were happy that I was done.
What's your favorite memory of an audience member at a show?
It was several years ago, and I was doing a show in like, who knows where, Ohio or far away Pennsylvania. And after the show, a woman came up to me and she said,
I drove 6 hours to see you perform, and you really, really, really made my night.
And that was it. Like, she didn't want a picture. She didn't want anything else. And I was like, wow, comedy is so powerful that this woman drove 6 hours to see me perform and then left. And I don't know who it was, but if you ever see this, that was a really cool moment. Thank you.
Do you have a favorite hero that you've met or worked with?
I think one of my favorite people who I've ever met and worked with and since become friends with is Russell Peters. He's probably the top of his game. He's sharp, he's funny, he's amazing at puns, he's really generous, he's kind, he helps everyone out. And he's one of those type people that you strive to be more like in professionalism and talent and just all around good guy.
What's your proudest accomplishment so far?
I think one of my proudest moments is every opportunity I have a chance to come up with a new joke or something that makes me laugh, or I'm like, oh, that's funny. I don't really focus too much on individual achievement because those are just ultimately memories. So I try to be consistent and just do good work and make myself happy and try to make other people smile.
If you could have any dream job, what would it be?
If I could land any job on earth, it would be ice cream truck driver, but I would have like the killerest sound system and I wouldn't have any sort of like desire to eat too much ice cream. Like I'd be like under control so I could still participate in the proper amount of ice cream every day so I wouldn't get to like diabetic levels, but I would also never get sick of it. And I would also never be like lactose intolerant so I could still have it. And I'd cruise the streets and like parents and kids would come running, partially because of the ice cream, but mostly because Slayer sounds really good with Rocky Road.
What was your life like before you started comedy?
My life before comedy was basically me not having been born yet, because I was always funny. I always wanted to laugh. I always tried to not really class clown it, but I guess I don't really remember life before comedy. I had other occupations, but I find things humorous.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
And my very first concert that I ever went to was Donna Summer at Pine Knob, and I went with my mother. And I remember she played Bad Girls as an encore, and it was pretty exciting, and it was also 48 minutes long.
What's your favorite joke to tell that audiences never laugh at?
My favorite joke that audiences never, ever laugh at, but it's one of my favorites. I'm sort of like stitious, but I'm not like superstitious.
J. Chris Newberg, everybody. Thank you very much, J. Chris, for letting me interview you for Marilyn Monday. And can you please let the fans know where they can follow you and find you and get more J. Chris?
Everybody, I have a podcast. It's called Heroin Has a Great Publicist. You can watch it on YouTube or you can listen to wherever people pod. And you can also find it on social media at Heroin Has. And I would say come see me live, but I don't know if that's on the books for quite some time. So check out my podcast. Follow me on Instagram at The Chris Army. So until then, look at these.